Coach, we're going to start over here on our left.
Coach Chip Towers, Cox Media Group, DogNation.com.
Hey, Chip.
How you doing? Long time to see. Jonathan Ledbetter is a guy that you've really known a long time, going all the way back to Kirby, Alabama, and Tucker. He's had some crossroads, I guess you would admit, in his career, and here he is representing the University of Georgia. Can you just talk about the personal journey that Ledbetter has made, and why you see him as a team leader, somebody you want out front speaking for your team?
Yeah, I think that when you talk about a guy that's been through the journey he's been through, you mentioned, I mean, I think back to his 10th grade year when he first committed to the University of Alabama, and I was there. He's a really good player, a kid I enjoy getting to know. He's got a wonderful family. I know his brother, his mom really well. He's grown up a lot. He's grown up a lot from that time. I think he would even tell you that there were times of immaturity in his youth during the recruiting stages and even leading into his time at Georgia. But sometimes the life you lead and the experiences you encounter, they give you the ability to stand in front of people and talk from experience. And I think our players recognize that when he speaks from the heart. They see how he works. They see what he's been through. I think Ron Corson and our medical staff have done a tremendous job with Jonathan Ledbetter of embracing him and him growing as a player and a person. And no better person to listen to than a guy that's been through the trials and tribulations that he has. And when he says it with passion, and he leads the right way. And we certainly want to keep doing that the rest of his career in Georgia.
Coach, we'll stay in the center aisle, just right down on the right.
Coach, Drew DeArmond, WZZ in the radio, Huntsville, Alabama. I know what Roquan Smith meant to your program last year, what a big part of their defense he was, but you're going to have a lot of competition now, especially at the linebacker spot. I wanted to ask you about a specific player from my backyard, and we're in our community in Madison, Alabama, from James Clemens High School, Monty Rice. I wanted to ask you what you saw in him intangibly when you recruited him, and then talk about, I know he had 14 tackles in the spring game, talk about his development as a player thus far in your program.
First of all, Monty is awesome to work with. Every time you see Monty coming down the hallway, you see his face light up. He smiles before he ever even says anything. It's just like he's happy. He's fired up. I mean, this is a kid that grew up in a community that embraced him. You know, I've never had a kid that we recruited that so many families reached out on his behalf to kind of tell his story. He's got an awesome story of growing up there, and a lot of family members that have played, gone to school with James Clemens, but he enjoys the game. He loves the game. And I'm tough on him. I'm very intense in practice, and last year, sometimes you forget that he was a freshman because he came in mid-year. But here's a kid that comes in mid-year, embraces the role of being a linebacker behind Roquan. He learned from Roquan. Those other players really embraced him, and then he comes out and has a great spring game, makes a lot of tackles. The one unique characteristic he has is he can run. He can really run. I think in the linebacker position, if you had to cut everything else outside intangibles, you want speed. And he can do that. He's an exciting player. I love working with him day to day. He is very serious about his academics, and I think that embodies what a college student athlete should be. He's a great representative of James Clemens.
Coach, we'll go over to our right about 3/4 of the way back.
Hey Kirby, Blake Toppin, Knoxville News Sentinel. Coaches talk about establishing their culture in the first year of a program, but specifically, what do you think you established in the first year at Georgia that kind of helped you there in year two?
Yeah, the first year was tough. I mean, there was a lot of maneuvering for players on the team to get accustomed to my style of leadership, our style of practice, our staff. That's not easy. Okay, it's not easy anytime to have that transition. You've got older players who have done it in a certain way for a long time, and that's tough for them to embrace that. I think that it was a tough situation for us where we're having an indoor building. We had to practice away from our normal practice facility. So there were a lot of intangible things that made it tougher on us, but what we never did was relent from what we felt the expectations were. I mean, for Thursday practice was supposed to be thud and full speed. That's what we expected it to be. And it didn't matter who we were playing or how we had played the week before or what our current record was. You had to live up to that expectation. And there weren't enough players embracing that role and taking that on that it was very demanding on us as coaches. Now, last year was a little bit easier to coach because I felt like some of the players took on that culture and they took on that ownership and they demanded. And now more and more of those guys are being more demanding, and they can kind of understand the expectations of what a Georgia practice should look like.
And we'll stay over here on this right side.
Mike Laker, Coach, you talked about Terry Godwin knowing him since the 9th grade. You lose a guy like Devon Williams from last year. Having Terry come back, what did that mean for you guys? And you talked a little bit about working on his vocal leadership presence. What do you think about him saying something like that?
What was the last part there? I couldn't understand.
He spoke a little bit about talking about his vocal leadership presence as opposed to just leading by example. What do you think about that?
Talking about Terry? Yeah, Terry's been a tremendous asset. He's a kid that understands the game of football, very instinctive, elite hands. He understands the game of football. You can kind of put Terry in any position, and it works for him. He's been around football. He's well coached in high school, great baseball player. But Terry understands the game. His leadership in that room with the wideouts has been tremendous for us. And there's a couple other guys in there that are really doing a good job as well. Nico, Riley Ridley, Jason Stanley's come on. So that's been a really good group by committee.
We'll go back to the other side in the back. On one side.
Ben Jones from Tuscaloosa News. What are some of the different pressures that your players face now compared to when you played, maybe?
Different
Pressures.
Okay. Yeah, the biggest pressure they feel is the social media pressure. We didn't have that when I played and finished up, around 99. You didn't have all the cameras on you constantly. One of the greatest differences I've seen is what kids go through prior to coming to our program, the recruiting process. So if you have 3 major media outlets and you have 7 teams recruiting a kid, that's 21 different people talking to him about himself. So all he hears about before coming is himself. We don't help that any as coaches because we recruit them. And we're in constant competition to recruit kids. So when they get to the university they choose to attend, it's a struggle to understand that it is a high level of competition. It is tough in the SEC, and there are a lot of good players. So, I think the difference now for these kids is that everywhere they go, they're social media. And they feel an expectation that they have to represent themselves on those social media outlets. And also, the rigors of college football continue to grow with the media coverage they get.
Okay, we'll go back over here to the right on the aisle.
Kirby, my name is Marie from Kentucky Sports Report. With Eason, Fromm, and Fields, have you ever been better stocked at quarterback? I've seen a better stocking situation at quarterback in your career.
Yeah, if we had all 3 of them, we'd be sitting pretty good. But Eason's gone. He's transferred. So with our situation, we have 2 quarterbacks that are both really talented guys. I am really excited about watching these 2 guys come out and lead our program and lead their units. They both have grown. They both done a tremendous job of embracing that role, not only in the locker room, but out on the field in spring practice. And I think Jake and Justin are tremendous assets for our program.
Coach, we'll go back over here to the left side.
Hey, Coach, Steve Moulton, WZZN out of Huntsville, Alabama. How often have you seen the game tape of the national championship game just a few steps from here?
Yeah, we watched it and evaluated it as a staff afterwards. Obviously, I see it on replays and different ESPN highlights. I got to watch it this morning early on to get up with Mike Greenberg, so I thought they might open with the SEC championship, but of course not. But that's part of it. I think we embrace that as coaches. It's not something, I think it's something that you guys think about a lot, but not really us. We're on to the next year, we're on to the next recruit, we're on to the next strategy, or whether it's tactical or mental or physical. We're constantly looking for the next edge to try to get the edge for the next year. So it's something that we don't have to rehash all the time. But I think our players will use that experience to grow, and I think that's big for our program. And understanding that if you do things a certain way, then you can get to certain places. We just have to be able to finish it when we get there.
Okay, we'll go over here to the right alongside the aisle.
Coach Smart here again, Brennan Daily Post. What's given you confidence over the summer and spring that you might be able to mitigate some of the losses of experienced guys on defense?
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand.
Just what's given you confidence in the offseason that you guys will be able to sort of lessen the blow from so many experienced guys being gone on defense this year?
I think the biggest confidence is the work ethic we have. Our guys have embraced the challenge. You guys just keep printing about how many we lost, and I think that helps us because that gives that chip on the shoulder that so many people want. We've had some mental training, some mindset training, talking about not being, the underdog and being the favorite. We were favored in a lot of games last year. So how does that change your demeanor when the pressure you feel from being a favorite? It really isn't. The only pressure is what you put on yourself. Because we have to go out and do what we have to do. So replacing those players, it's not something we talk about. It's something that the guys with the roles, they have an opportunity to step up. That's part of being a good coach to me, is saying, okay, what pieces of the puzzle are we going to put in what place? Because it might take 3 linebackers to fill the role of what Roquan Smith did. It might take a guy on 3rd down, a guy on 1st down. Lorenzo Carter played a lot of different roles for us. Sony and Nick. I'm so excited to watch these young backs who I've had the fortune of watching in scrimmages and practice and in December practice. I get to watch these guys. Holyfield, Harry, Swift, 2 new guys. I get to watch all those guys. So I'm excited to see them embrace this opportunity. And I think the more you guys talk about what we lost, the more those guys say, let me show you what I can do.